Hello everyone. First of all, happy weekend all of you. I am recording this random video to crack the senior level Flutter interview. So this is video all about the questions which can be asked by interviewer when you are appearing for the senior level Flutter job role. So first of all, I will explain step by step that which topics you need to cover or which topics you must need to revise to crack the senior level Flutter interview. So first of all, you need to, let's start. So first of all, you need to be clear about the architectural patterns, that is the design patterns like MVVM, MVC, etc. And then you need to know about the clean architecture. Okay, clean architecture means you might be aware that it's a folder structure and we can use it with the different state management techniques like MobX, GetX, provider, riverpod, and block. So basically, clean architecture has the data dominant presentation layer and how we can use it with the different state management techniques that you must know. Interviewer can ask these questions. Apart from that, if I talk, then you need to be aware about the UI UX. That is, he or she might can ask you about the animations in the Flutter. That is, what are the implicit animations, what are the explicit animations, how you can add animations while navigating from one screen to another screens, or what is ticker provider animation, what is multiple ticker provider state animation, etc. You can be aware about all type of animations which is possible in the Flutter app. Apart from that, widget tree, you need to know basics about widget tree, that we know that everything in Flutter is the widget. And so you need to know about the basic designs of UI and how we can optimize that designs or how we can optimize the UI. So for the UI UX and some related things, you need to be aware about it. Okay. Apart from that, we have already talked animations. Now the next thing is adaptability. How can you design Flutter app not only for the mobile but for web, for desktop? So you need to be aware about the different screen sizes and functionality. So that is the point in the UI UX. So after UI UX, what you need to know is the method channel. Okay, method channel means we need to be aware or we need to be able to implement the platform specific functionalities like iOS specific functionalities or Android specific functionalities. So you need to be aware that how we can use method channels to run or to get the platform specific informations from the specific device like Android or iOS in case if it is required. So use of method channel and everything, the complete flow you should know about the method channel for the native code implementation. Okay, so that is the thing. And after that, uh, yeah, there is a life cycle management. So you should know about the life cycle of the native platforms as well. That is application life cycle for Android, application life cycle for iOS, and yeah, the widget life cycle of the Flutter and application life cycle of the Flutter. You should know this life cycle and how you can implement this life cycle management steps that you should be aware of. Apart from that, there is a you need to be able to write test cases, because many interviewer nowadays ask about that, have you write unit test or integration test. So this is the basic that for any kind of development you must be aware of writing test cases. That so basically you need to be aware of writing unit, how we can write unit test case, how we can write widget test, and how we can write the uh, integration testing. So these things you need to be aware of. So after testing, there is a topic which is called the managing CI/CD pipelines. So you all should be aware of managing CI/CD pipelines. Let's say it is GitHub Actions, how we can automatically deploy it on App Store, or how we can automatically deploy it on Play Store. So we can do it through the GitHub Actions. So what is the process of doing it? which files we need to add in our code, that all the stuffs you should know about. So GitHub Actions or CI/CD pipelines, interviewer might ask. And yeah, app deployment, that is how we can upload the incremented builds, and all the process related to app deployments, like deploying it on the internal track, on the external track, and for the production release. So this all details you should be aware of. Apart from that, there is a state management. So basically, if you know a couple of state management, it's okay. But mostly interviewer ask about the block and river code. But it is necessary that you know about the provider, getex, and mobex. Mobex is old now, so it's not compulsory to know about the mobex. But provider and getex, this couple of state management technique you should be aware of. And I recommend that you study about the river code and block, and also qubit. Okay, redux is also fine. So this is the thing, that state management techniques you should be aware of. After state management, which things you need to know is that is the HTTP and DAO, that is the RESTful services. How you will implement the RESTful services. Many interviewer also ask that have you worked with the GraphQL web services. So it is good if you know basic about the GraphQL services, but you must be aware of the HTTP and DAO plugins, which is used for the implementing or integrating JSON web services. So you should be know about the different DAO interceptors and different DAO, how timeout is working, how we can cancel the network request, how we can do it in the background for large JSON. So isolation is also there. You should be aware of isolations. So the thing which you should be aware of, or you must be know, is HTTP package, DAO package, different DAO functionalities you should be aware of. That is the JSON serialization, decoding and encoding. And the rest thing is, yeah, the Firebase integration. You should be aware of Firebase real-time database, Firebase Firestore, push notifications, how we can implement push notifications, Crashlytics, etc. And yeah, deep linking is also there, but I think the Firebase deep linking is now not more supported. So you can use Unilinks for Android, and for iOS you need to be aware of how we can implement the deep linking functionality. Okay. Apart from that, it is the dependency injection. If you are Flutter developer, you might know that we can do this DI related stuffs with the provider or any other state management technique. But Get It is the plugin through which you can easily implement dependency injection if required. So Get It plugin you should be aware of. Okay, and yeah, the navigation, the latest things in navigations like Navigator 2.0, or you can also revise the Go Router package. Okay, and basic is also there. You must be aware of navigation part. And yeah, the next thing is optimization. Now, what is optimization? Optimizations means you need to be aware of debugging, profiling, and optimizing render cycles. Okay, how you will optimize the render cycles. Or interviewer might also ask you that have you used any ID tools to for checking the performance of the applications. So that is the developer tools we can mention. Okay, so that's must you should know. Apart from that, there is you will be aware of you need to be aware of the Jira or any agile or scrum related tools. That is how we can create sprint, how we can run the sprint, how we can schedule sprint retrospective, sprint review. And yeah, client communication, you should be aware of how we can talk to the client, how we can okay, how we can negotiate, that all related things you need to know. So basically agile methodologies you should know, scrum rituals you should know, and yeah, the tools, how we can use Jira tools, that you should be aware of. And apart from that, client also may ask you, or interviewer also may ask you that what AI you are using, which AI you are using while development. So there is a basic Udemy course for the AI, that how we can use Cursor, how we can use Gemini or ChatGPT for the development of the Flutter application. So that is not the big things, but you should check it once. Okay, and so this is the basic things which you should know before going for the senior level Flutter interview. So apart from that, there are some other stuffs also, like you need to be aware of about socket, okay, socket implementation, socket IO, the Google Map functionality. If you have mentioned anything related to map functionality or Google Map functionality, interviewer may ask you about it. So be accurate about the Google Map functionality. Then there is a in-app purchase, that is any payment gateway you should be aware of, that is Razorpay, Stripe, or Payobees, PayPal. Okay, you should be aware of, and how we can create the consumables, non-consumables, that is in-app purchases. So these all steps is required, and you should be revise it. Apart from that, yeah, so these all are the basics. Now they can also ask you about the BLE, or classic Bluetooth, or the Bluetooth low energy. So if you have a little bit experience about BLE, interviewer may ask you about like BLE flow, that how we can connect BLE devices, how we can do data transfer and all the stuffs. So basically BLE is the low bandwidth Bluetooth communications, we can say. And if you have BLE experience, you might know that first we need to subscribe for the particular characteristics which can notify our mobile devices, and you can use NRF Connect applications for creating demo related to BLE, and how we can read write characteristics, how we can do firmware update or some similar functionalities to the BLE. And encoding decoding is there. So some client also ask about Google protocol buffer, but this is not important. Google protocol buffer is the encoding decoding techniques or tools, we can say. So in short, for about BLE, you should know, okay, how we can scan devices, how we can connect to that particular device using UUID or RSID. And so that's all stuff about the BLE. Apart from that, just go for the good confidence. Check your CV before going to the interview. And yeah, you should be aware of about your best challenging project. Okay, and apart from that, you need to be aware of about how you can introduce yourself in front of the interviewer or in front of the client. Apart from that, what are your challenges and what are your weaknesses, or what are your strength and weaknesses, you should be aware of. And yeah, these are the things. If you know these things well, you can crack the senior level Flutter interview easily. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Let's meet in another video. Thanks for watching again. Thank you.